ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति। In the first chapter, the student came and asked this question: what is the divine principle? What is the divine principle? What is it that makes the inner sentient? What is it that is making the insentient sentient? That is the question. So first the question that is asked: what is it that makes it? What is it that makes it sentient? And we saw, how do we call it as insentient? What is the basis for you to call it as insentient? Insentient means it will not be conscious of itself and it will not be conscious of that which is around that. That is matter. Again, matter means it will not be awareness of itself and there will not be an awareness of what is happening around. Like, we say the chair is inert. We say the chair is inert because it is not conscious of itself, nor is it conscious of the person sitting on it. Imagine the chair becomes conscious of. Imagine the chair becomes conscious of itself and the person, and it is conscious of the person sitting on. Then it is sentient, alive. So the question that he is asking is, even though they are themselves inert by nature, what is it that makes it function? Ishitam, Preshitam, 2 words, for which he gave a brilliant answer. So many definitions he gave, but all the definitions of so many definitions of Brahman he gave, and all the definitions of Brahman can be summarized into one. What is it? Brahman is something different from that which is known and that which is unknown. Viditat, aviditat. This is the definition of Brahman he has given. It is different from everything that is known and everything that is unknown. Is the central definition. Tvam vidhinedam viridam upasate. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhinedam viridam upasate. He kept on repeating that, and the teaching got concluded in chapter 1. And then in chapter 2, the bridge between 1 and 2, the student said, I fully understood what you said. For which the teacher answered back and said, answer my question clearly and properly. Do you know Brahman or not? Is the question. The Guru is asking, do you know? Don't ask where these questions are all in the mantra. Idallam we are just to bring in the sequence. We are inserting all this so that you can get the sequence of thought. In which mantra it is said? There is no mantra that is saying all this. So the Shishya said, I know it well. For which the Guru said, if we having understood my teaching properly, tell me precisely, did you understand Brahman or not? Then the student gave a reply in the second mantra. The student gave us a reply in the second mantra. What did he say? I do not consider I know Brahman, because if I say I know Brahman, Brahman will come to the known category. If I say I do not know Brahman, Brahman will come into the unknown category. But the definition that you gave me is beyond known and the unknown. That I understood. Able to follow? So that I understood. And how to explain that? Mutually contradicting statements the Shishya makes. Mantra 2. With mantra 2, the Upanishad is over. For all practical purposes, with mantra 2, Kenopanishad is over. Because the student came, asked the question, enlightenment happened. After that, why to waste time? Vacate the checkout. Upanishad is, with mantra 2, Upanishad is over. And the Guru started in mantra 3. Because where do you get a student like that who says, I understood? He got so excited and he summarized the teaching. So now what all he said, now he summarized. And how he summarized? By bringing in the same contradictions, the same contradictory statements again. Under what category the knower will come? The knower will never come under the category of known, and the knower will not come under the category of the unknown. Therefore, in the entire thing, there is only one thing. What is that one thing? The known, that is Brahman. Therefore, I understand Brahman as the knower principle, not what is known. The principle by which everything is known, but that cannot be known. Why that cannot be known? All that we have studied already. For you to know something, you have to convert it into an object. Then only you can know. And Brahman is that which cannot be converted into an object for me to say I know. Therefore, how to even communicate that I know? If you know, you know. Why the necessity even to communicate? There is a samvada going on. No? There is a discussion going on, and the student wants to ensure that it is done rightly, properly. So the language of contradictions. The language of contradictions is against conventional logic and wisdom. The worldly logic, the worldly sciences, the worldly wisdom says either you know or you don't know. If you say, either you can say I know or you can say I don't know. If you say I only know a small portion of it, logic will say you don't know. Here he is saying, categorically I cannot say I know, categorically I cannot say I don't know either, because the known is related to the unknown is related to the known, and Brahman doesn't fit under any of these categories. Therefore, he says, I understand Brahman as the knower principle. Guru is still looking at the student, because there is only a comma. I have understood Brahman to be beyond the knower, and the known is not the full understanding. There is only the comma. And then he goes on to say, that knower principle, I understand it to be myself. That knower principle, I understand it to be me. That means I can claim Aham Brahmasmi. When I claim the I, Aham Brahmasmi, Brahman is not an adjective to the I like body, mind and intellect. It can be any body, it can be any mind, it can be intellect or no intellect. But here in Aham Brahmasmi, the I is not the I is not connected with anything objectified like the body, mind and intellect. Why? Because they are all inert by nature, and they cannot claim the I at all. So there is something that is making it say it. There is something the body, mind and intellect is borrowing consciousness and claiming that it has its own consciousness. Borrowed consciousness is not consciousness. All this the student says, I know. How is he saying I know all these? By speaking the language of contradictions. So, how do you know that? You speak the language of contradictions. That consciousness which is independent of everything. Again, that consciousness which is independent of everything, unconnected to the body, mind and intellect. When you say unconnected to the body, mind and intellect, what it means is in no way it has any relationship with it. That I understand it to be me. And the student is so confident that he says, whoso among the students, whoever can appreciate my reply, all those students have also grasped the teaching. All those have grasped my teaching. Whoever has understood it has understood it. Generally, people say, wonderful talk, but I didn't understand anything. Or they will say, wonderful class, but nothing can be applied outside the classroom. These are the two things. Either the students will say, wonderful talk, but I didn't understand anything. Or they say, what you are saying is very good, sir, but it will work only within the classroom. Once I go out, it will not work out. Nobody clearly says, I have understood. And here, because Upanishad should end with, that's why it is an Upanishad. Upanishad means it will end with the student enlightenment. Then only you can call it as the Upanishad. The student turns back and say, all my problems got solved now. Thank you, na? Some therapy session happened, isn't it? Some therapy happened and the fellow says, my problem is sorted out. And no problem gets ever sorted out. Temporarily it is. The temporary sorting out itself is so relieving. Second mantra is students' reply, Upanishad is over. And whenever the enlightenment happens, the Upanishad, the Guru gets thrilled. The Guru gets very thrilled. So he continues from where the student left. He continues from where the student left. Repeats the same contradictory things. Why? Any discussion about the ultimate has to be paradoxical. It is not contradictory. It appears paradoxical. Any definition of the ultimate has to be paradoxical. Any definition of life in the true sense of the term has to be paradoxical, because the truth is paradoxical. It's a paradox. What is the paradox? The ignorant one says, I know. The wise one says, I don't know. There itself the paradox, isn't it? You follow? Life is full of paradoxes only. Why? You cannot avoid. Why? The reality is full of paradox, and the Brahman that comes out of this, the world that has come out of this Brahman also must necessarily have the properties of Brahman only. No, therefore how it will be? It will be paradoxical only. At any point of time, you are a combination of, are you alive or dead? At any point of time, you are both. But you don't feel it at all. Are you able to follow? Venkatachalam. Are you alive or dead? Oh, I am alive, sir. You are dead now. Because how can you ask this question to a? So, at any given point of time, some part of you is being alive, some part of you is constantly dying, and both harmoniously coexist. Why? Because that's how the reality comes. Are you able to follow? The ornament will necessarily have all the properties of the gold. It cannot have any additional property other than the gold. Similarly, the world cannot have any additional property other than Brahman. What is Brahman? Paradoxical by nature. Therefore, life is full of paradoxes, opposites coexisting. Good will turn into bad, bad will turn into good, heat will turn into cold, cold will turn into heat. And enlightenment means, a wise one means, happily accepting this and dancing with this. That is enlightenment. Opposite of enlightenment is trying to resist it, fight it. You resist, you fight. And in every resistance and fight, who are you fighting with? In every fight, you are fighting with yourself only, because you are only there. And when you fight, if there is a fight between your left hand and the right hand, what will happen? One hand will win, one hand will lose. Definitely one hand will win and another hand will lose. Now it doesn't really matter which hand wins, which hand loses. Overall, who's the loser? You are the loser, isn't it? That's why Mahabharata war is so beautiful. 19th day, everybody was equally crying. If only Kaurava's family was crying and Pandava's family was rejoicing, then you can call it as Dharma Yuddha and all the drama we talk about. No, Dharma Yuddha, etc. What is Dharma Yuddha? 19th day, all of them were equally crying. If Gandhari was crying because she lost all her sons, Draupadi was also crying because she lost her sons. If Draupadi and Gandhari was crying, Kunti was also crying. It means what? There is something that is so distinct and different to life, which is difficult for us to grasp, digest. Are you able to follow? What is it? Paradoxical. Paradoxes coexist. Enlightenment means a blissful acceptance of it and dancing with it. Because we have seen this in any number of times. The properties of the snake comes from the properties of the rope. The quality of the gold in the ornament is entirely dependent upon the quality of the gold. There is no any additional factor at all. This is the reality. Therefore, the Guru is so thrilled to talk about this. He continued in mantra 3, talking about this paradoxes. one who says I know Brahman do not know Brahman. Guru summing up. Because knowers do not know Brahman and non-knowers know Brahman. Knowers of Brahman do not know Brahman. Non-knowers of Brahman know Brahman. What did you understand? Nothing is understood. That is the Upanishadic teaching. That is the Upanishadic teaching. Because you are not supposed to know it. It is not, God is not a logical conclusion. Brahman is not a logical derivative conclusion and say, therefore God is. It's not a logical problem. It's not a cerebral question. God is not a cerebral question. God is not a logical conclusion. What is God? What is Brahman? That enlivens everything and also becomes it. See, electricity enlivens the bulb. Correct. Electricity becoming the bulb, there you get lost. Isn't it? There you are lost. Electricity enlivening the bulb is understandable. Another context, another way. Electricity enlivens the bulb and also becomes. All this we should not have any doubt at all, because in Bhagavad Gita we have studied it very clearly. The material cause, the instrumental cause, all that we have studied very clearly there. In chapter 7 and chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, again we studied, no? I am in them. I am in the world is not in me. Same contradictions. And we spent how many time we spent on those verses. Quickly you should remember all that so that you will understand what he is saying. What the Upanishad is saying here. Chapter 7, chapter 9. The paradoxical statements in the beginning of chapter 7 and chapter 9, Krishna makes. I am in them, they are in me. I am not in them, they are not in me. Same verse. Chapter 7. And also he repeats the same thing in chapter 9. How did he understand that? It's the same Upanishadic message. Krishna takes it and puts it in the Bhagavad Gita. And then he went on to mantra 4, which is where we currently study. Pratibodha viditam madam amrutatvam hi vindati atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate mritam. Very important, because for us it is very important. Not for the enlightened one, he got up and left. Now these mantras is for whom now? Upanishad is over. Now from now on the Upanishad is for whom? Leftovers. Yeah, all the leftovers. The leftovers are there. For them, the Upanishad is continuing. Pratibodha viditam madam amrutatvam hi vindate. And the mantra podungo. Pratibodha viditam madam amrutatvam hi vindate. Atmana vindate viryam. Vidyaya vindate mritam. அமிர்தம்னு சொல்லணும். அதை மந்திரா சொல்லும்போது அப்படி சேர்ந்து படிக்கிறோம். வித்யா விந்ததே அமிர்தம். எல்லாருக்கும் சான்ஸ்கிரிட் தெரியுமா? இங்கே இங்கிலீஷ்க்கு போங்க. இதுதான் தெரிகிறது இல்லையா? வித்யா விந்ததே மிருதம்னாலும் ஓகே, வித்யா விந்ததே அமிர்தம்னாலும் it is okay. There is no rope and snake, okay. The snake came from the rope, okay. எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஓகே என்னத்தான் பண்ண முடியும் இல்லையா? அதுக்குள்ள டிஸ்கஷன் went on to the next retreat now. Where is the next retreat, sir? When is that time when you... இதுவே முடியல இன்னும். We didn't even finish. Pratibodha vididam mridam hi vindat atmana vindate viryam. Through oneself, one attains power. Through knowledge, one attains immortality. This is the beautiful Upanishadic introduction to sadhana. Till now, there is no sadhana prescribed. Till now, there is no method prescribed. The student has already, if the student is fully prepared, came understood, left. Now the sadhana. Sadhana means the preparation. Now the sadhana. What is the sadhana? One attains immortality by awareing the consciousness through every experience. Through all experiences. If you miss Brahman while breathing, you can catch Brahman while hearing. If you miss Brahman while hearing, you can catch Brahman by at least see briefly how you can catch Brahman, because there are enough opportunities from the time we wake up and go to sleep to catch Brahman. You have enough opportunities to catch Brahman. This is not a sadhana at all. This is not a sadhana that is more practical, sir. We want something more practical. More practical enna artham? The practical means what? Don't ask me to change, you change. You understand? Give me some takeaway. Give me some practical advice. Don't ask me to change. You better change and all human beings can be divided into two categories, Vivekananda said. Those who lift themselves up for the sake of the ideal, or those who brings the ideal down, he says. All human beings are only two categories, he says. One who can lift themselves up for the sake of the ideal. Others bring the ideal down. So whenever we talk about be practical, what are we talking about? Bring the ideals down. Where to bring it down? Finally, you have to bring it down and say, get up, go for a walk, don't overeat. Idella or instruction, Upanishadic instruction, isn't it? Because practical, bring it down. Even when you have a stomach upset, don't have samosa. Idella practical advice. What practical advice you can give? Stomach is full, but still person gave, sir, what can I do? I can't refuse, no? So I have to, I don't know, what is being practical? First beautiful sadhana or kudugrarpa. Kelambo. Indeed, one attains immortality by that. That sadhana is not acceptable. Second, then he comes. Through oneself, one attains power. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Okay. The awareing the consciousness through every experience is not possible because you don't have power. You don't have the power of tapas. Atmana vindate viryam. So develop the power. Do tapas and bring the power. That is viryam, power. Power here doesn't mean the worldly power. Power doesn't mean the power here means what? The inner strength. The inner capacity. With that power, you can gain knowledge, attain immortality. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Rather than we can later on, the Smriti textbooks and other textbooks divides the Veda itself into Veda Purva and Veda Anta and bring all these distinctions. Where is the root mantra? Where is the formula mantra for all that? These are the formula mantras. Because he is saying it very clearly, through oneself, one attains power. Through knowledge, one attains immortality. Immortality you attain through knowledge alone. To gain knowledge, you need power. But sir, to gain knowledge, why do I need power? To gain knowledge, all that I need is knowledge of language and hearing capacity. No. To gain immortality, you need knowledge, and to receive knowledge, you need tapas, and that tapas gives power. And what is tapas giving power means? What is meant when we say it is It is tapas that gives power. Remember the story. One of the name of Lord Shiva is called Neelakanta. One of the name of Lord Shiva is Neelakanta. Neelakanta means blue-throated one. Yeah. English lesson எப்படி இருக்குது? Sanskrit is nice. Neelakanta, we are so used to it. How do you translate it in English? Blue-throated, blue-necked. Necked எல்லாம் கிடையாது. Neck full-ஆக இருக்கு. Isn't it? It's not blue-necked. It is blue. It's blue. It's blue-throated. Why? Because he swallowed the poison, and that poison didn't have any effect on him. That is the power of tapas. Atmana vindate viryam. Meaning, anything and everything from the world will go into you and just stays here. It will not go inside you. It will not create any ripple effect on you. It will not disturb you in any way. That power is required to gain knowledge, and through that knowledge you attain immortality. Now the student understood that, and the student who prepared well came, realized, got up and left. Now the Guru is giving, now the Guru is continuing, to whom now he is so happy with that person. But again he is looking at the rest. The few is still there. Now what to do to them? What to do to them? You can't say you are all not qualified. He won't say that. Because even now you don't know that you are Brahman. He sees you as Brahman. You see yourself as different. That's the irony. You should see yourself rightly, no? The Guru sees yourself rightly. You see yourself wrongly. And the shift. Again I repeat. The Guru sees you rightly. Paradoxically, what should happen? See, paradoxically, logically, you should be able to see yourself rightly. Others can see you wrongly. That is correct. But here, what is happening? What's happening here? The Guru is seeing you rightly. How the Guru is seeing you rightly? Brahman. And how are you seeing yourself? How are you seeing yourself? Differently. Such a difficult task it is. Such a difficult task where you are seeing yourself wrongly, and you have to be taught to, and you have to be trained to see yourself rightly, for which some preparation is required. What is that preparation? Atmana vindate viryam. You get that power. The power of tapas is required. That's why we gave that Shiva's example. Because when they were churning the Milky Ocean, the visham came, the poison came, and it was destroying. It's destroying the whole universe. Everything is getting destroyed, and they didn't know whom to go to. They all went to Shiva. And Shiva is symbolic of tapas. You know, Lord Shiva is of two extremes. Either he is doing tapas, or he is enlightenment dancing. Nataraja, isn't it? Nataraja is the dance of enlightenment, isn't it? Have you seen him dancing? No, that's at least how he is dancing. How powerful that dance should be, where the matted locks are flying. That's how they make the statue of Nataraja, no? Have you seen those? The matted locks are flying. It means Michael Jackson, Prabhudevala must come and learn how to dance from Nataraja, isn't it? That dance, that is the dance of enlightenment. Now come to that dance of enlightenment, Atma Vidyaya Vindate Amritam. You need to do one thing. What you need to do? You need to do tapas. What is that tapas? That's where he is going to expand it in part 3, and he is going to expand it in part 4. Therefore, the Upanishad teaching is over. The sadhana part of the Upanishad is starting from now on. which is very unusual to an Upanishad. In these kind of mantra Upanishads, it's very unusual because they don't talk about sadhana a lot, but here the Guru is compassionate enough to talk to us and give some sadhanas also. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Two important lessons. Consciousness is Brahman, and that Brahman I am. You should learn to say that. Again, consciousness is Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. That is the sadhana. That is the sadhana. In order to keep repeatedly doing this, the mind should not get distracted, the mind should not be affected, the mind should not be disturbed. To prevent the mind's distractions, affectations, what is necessary? Tapas is necessary. Yeah, tapas is necessary. Air-conditioned auditorium, air-conditioned room, breeze, sea breeze, mosquito repellent, and then Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Narayana. God only has to save the teacher and the taught together. Wow. Beautifully he says, Atmana vindate viryam. Viryam here means through oneself one attains power. Through oneself means you do the sadhanas, you develop that. The sadhana means tapas. And tapas gives you the power. What is the power? World will still keep entering you and it will just stay here. It will not go deep down and affect you. That's tapas. It's not that you cut off from the world, you close your eyes to the world and run away from there. You will be where you are. You will be where you are. But what will happen? You will be where you are. The senses will perceive the world. The mind and intellect will still interact with the world. Everything will happen and everything will stay here. Here means it will not go into you and disturb you. Again, it's symbolic. You know it, you understand it, it enters you, but it will not affect you. It will not disturb you. The very non-affectation is the power of tapas. That tapas is required. The non-affectation is the power of tapas. Atmana vindate viryam. So the viryam na tapas nu purinjukonu. Viryam which comes out of tapas. The viryam which is born out of tapas. And that tapas is the prerequisite for tapo vikshina papanam Shantanam vitaraginam mumukshunam apekshoyam atmabodho vidiyate. Shankara takes it from there and says, through knowledge alone one attains immortality. Bodhonya sadhane bhyogi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vahniva jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Vera valiye kadayadu pantaru. Don't try any other method. Ore method da. For cooking, fire is the direct means. Cutting, cleaning and all is preparation. And don't think cutting and cleaning itself is cooking. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Through oneself, one attains power. Through knowledge, one attains immortality. As I said, from now on, the entertainment part of Upanishad is over. What is entertainment part of Upanishad? It is consciousness, it is enlivening, you are that. You don't have to do anything at all. I'll just walk out of the room like enlightened. Not here, not in this retreat. The previous retreat. One of the participants was telling us, after the session is over, the wife called him for something. And the wife, hello, enlightened. He came for, remember that? We are laughing and laughing, and for 2 days we are laughing on that only. The wife called that man and said, hello, enlightened. Sarcastic. No, nothing is going to happen to you. What she is saying is, right? No, nothing happens, isn't it? Nothing happens. He is thinking he reaches Ashtavakra Gita, he will attain moksha. Nothing will happen, isn't it? Is there anything happening? Nothing. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate mritam. That part of entertainment part of Upanishad is over. The sadhana part of Upanishad starts. The sadhana part of Upanishad begins. Proper Upanishad begins now as far as we are concerned. For us, this is proper Upanishad. For the prepared student, Upanishad is over. Yes.
So you said Brahman is paradoxical in nature, and you gave this as Brahman enlivens everything and becomes that. Can I also say that pure consciousness, conditioned consciousness, borrowed consciousness coexist, and this is also a part of nature of Brahman?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes. You can say that. With Brahman, the advantage with Brahman is what? You can say anything and everything. It becomes Brahman. That is the advantage of Brahman. You don't have to, you can blabber anything. And we will say, yeah, correct. It is Brahman. Brahman is that. No, what do we do? Correct? No. Why are you laughing? In the way that we know knowledge, thought consciousness mixture is knowledge. Thought by itself is not knowledge. Consciousness by itself doesn't happen. Only when they two combine, there arises I know. Again. Thought by itself is not knowledge, because who is aware of the thought? So thought by itself is not knowledge. Consciousness by itself also you cannot say as knowledge, because why consciousness needs to know anything to be conscious of? Again it doesn't make any. Again for consciousness it doesn't make any. Therefore, all worldly knowledges is a mixture of thought plus consciousness. Correct? All that we have studied till now. That is conditioned consciousness. This condition thoughts are variable, isn't it? Thoughts keeps, they come and go. They are variable. Does it mean Brahman also come and go? In the combination thought plus consciousness, thought is the variable factor, consciousness is the constant factor. So, what is the world? Mixture of variable and invariable. This is called blabbering. Isn't it? This is called blabbering. No. That is the reality. If you think it as blabbering, the problem is with your logic. Change your logic, he says. Vedanta says, if you think it as blabbering because you come from a logic which is of your problem, which is your product. The reality of life is what? Paradoxical. You follow? That is why changing thought plus changeless consciousness equals anubhava. As a formula. We have studied that any number of times. The changing thought plus changeless consciousness equals Anubhava. Pratibodha. Adana mantra. Pratibodha. Are you able to follow? Pratibodham enna artham? Anubhava means bodha. So, in every bodha, in every Atma bodha, we say no. Pratibodham. All means the same meaning. All are synonymous. It means what? In every cognition, in every knowledge, in every experience, there is this mixture. What is sadhana? Learn to see both. Learn to see both. Learn to see both. That is the sadhana. First sadhana. I don't know. Not that I do not know. Some sadhana is required, isn't it? If you are sane and come into Upanishad, first Upanishad will make you insane. Yeah. So we come with some sanity, thinking that we are sane. What the Upanishad will do? First it will make you go insane. After that you are insane, you will say, now you have attained Brahmatvam. அதுக்கு அங்கேயே இருந்திருக்கலாம் ராஜ். லீவ்லாம் வேறு போட்டு வந்திருக்கேன் நீங்கள். In every experience, the sadhana is what? A mixture of the changing thought and the changeless consciousness. Learn to see the two coexisting in one is sadhana. Don't segregate the two and say this is. Don't try to segregate and keep it aside and say don't do all that. The first sadhana புரியலன்னா dilute பண்ணி next 3, 4 கீழே வந்துனே இருப்போம். The first level of sadhana is what? Pratibodha viditam. First sadhana. What is the sadhana? In every thought, in every cognition, in every knowledge, in every experience, learn to understand both coexist. Because it is so mixed up together, what is that mixed up together? Thought and consciousness are so mixed up together. What you miss? The consciousness also appears to be product of the thought. That's why we say human being. Because of the mixture, we add being to the human. Adan ethics no. Don't do that. Don't do that. We have 2 standard examples for that. One is the moonlight. One example is moonlight. You see it so intimate that you have to necessarily call it as moonlight. Even though we understand it is, even though you should call it only as reflected sunlight. Thought is like the moon, consciousness is like the moonlight. They are together, but they are independent. They are together, but they are independent. More easier example. We have seen any number of times. Moonlight and all, still easier example. The piece of wood and magnet tied together. Remember that example? There is the piece of wood and then there is the piece of magnet, and when the wood and magnet is tied together, adam pratibodha viditam. When it is tied together, the wood also appears to have taken the property of the magnet. Even in the combination, the wood still remains the wood only. Are you able to follow? This is pratibodha viditam. If not, then come to the next. Atmana vindate viryam. And then come to the next. Vidyaya vindate amrutam. From the changing thought to non-changing consciousness is tapas. First is, if you have grown, you can understand both coexist. No, that is too much to comprehend. Then come down. keep the two and shift the attention from the changing thought to the non-changing consciousness. That is another sadhana. First object experience comes, goes away. Second object, second experience comes, goes away. Third object, third experience comes, goes away. But all the three, I am conscious of the first, I am conscious of the second, I am conscious of the third, and that is the non-variable factor. You are conscious of changes, and that you are conscious is a non-changing fact. The Upanishad is better, sir. Again I repeat. You are conscious of changes, and you are conscious that I am conscious is a non-changing fact. So it means shift the attention from changing to the changeless. Shift the attention from changing to the less. This is the sadhana. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. The world is changing, the body is changing, mind is changing, everything is changing. In and through all the changes, there is something that is not changing. The moving wheel is supported by the unmoving axle. Another same concept, some other Upanishad gives it as an example. The moving wheel is supported by the unmoving axle, and wherever the wheel goes, the axle goes with it. But without it, the movement will not happen. What is the relationship between, then comes the question, what is the relationship between the consciousness and matter? Two are existing. Up to this is okay. Then the next question is there a connection between the consciousness and the matter? Ingada Upanishad takes it to here. Upanishad becomes very, very penetrative in thinking, which we will not study in detail, but I'll just give you a basic outline. There are two things we have agreed till now. What are the two things that we have agreed till now? One is the changing factor, another is the non-changing factor. One is variable, another is non-variable. Correct? In the rendu irukku establish acha. Then what is the sambandha between the two? What is the connection between the two? Here comes lot of study, lot of detailed analysis, etc., which is what we are supposed to do, and that knowledge is what he says, vidyaya vindate mritam. Vidyaya vindate amritam. That kind of knowledge is required to understand, to go to that immortality. What is that knowledge? The sambandha between, the connection between the changing and the changeless. Different thoughts comes here only. Different opinions comes, different schools of thought. Up to this point, nobody disagrees. Where disagreement or discussions will start only when they start talking about what is the connection between matter and consciousness. Sambandha means cause and effect relationship. Again, sambandha means cause and effect relationship. Is there a cause and effect? Is there a cause and effect relationship between consciousness and matter? There cannot be. It means there is no sambandha. It means there is no connection. Having without any connection, they appear to be deeply connected is the paradox. Sankhya schools have different things, Dvaita school has a different thing, Visishtadvaita school has a different thing. We are not going into those details here. They all have different ideas. It will take, I don't know, when will we even finish the discourses? Is consciousness the cause and matter the effect? Or is matter the cause and consciousness the effect? Sambandha means cause and effect relationship. We come and say, no. They can coexist without having any cause-effect relationship. They appear to be related, but in reality there is no relationship at all possible. Because if you have to establish a relationship, you have to establish the cause and effect. You are able to follow that, no? Amar. Sambandha na cause and effect establish another, there is a relationship. What is the relationship between me and my father? Cause and effect. Tree and the seed, isn't it? Anger is the effect. What is the cause? So in everything we have to establish a cause and effect relationship. The question, Vidyaya Vindate Amritam. Which knowledge will get you that immortality? Is there a connection between? But these are all just intellectual discussions, no sir. Practically, how does it help us? Okay, forget it. Go to the first. Atmana Vindate Viryam. Go to that Atmana. If you think these are all intellectual things, playing with words, intellectual quibbling with words, complicating simpler things, go to that. What? Atmana Vindate Viryam. Go to that Atmana Vindate Viryam. Gain the Viryam, and then you will understand. What is it? They are connected, and yet there is no connection. What is the cause and effect relationship between rope and snake? What is the cause and effect relationship between rope and snake? Can you say rope is the cause for the snake? You can't. You cannot. At the same time, you cannot say there is none either. Because you will not know how to say how the snake came out. Now the snake has come out. Now you have to establish some connection between the snake and the rope. So somewhere, some indirect connection is there, sir. What is the answer? Is there a connection between rope and snake? Cause and effect relationship? Rope irundha adana sir snake varum. Without the presence of the rope, snake varthukku. Without the presence of the rope, the snake can never ever come out. Therefore, is there not a connection between the two? Are you able to follow? For which, what is the answer? Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes or no nu kekave kudadu. Yes and no. If rope can produce snake, independently, where all there is ropes, it will be producing snakes. Angada cause and effect. Can any rope produce a snake? And yet, both, it appears as though snake came out of rope. Can you say the snake came out of rope and the snake merged back into the rope? You can't say that either again. Why? Because which part of the snake can become the rope? What aspect of the snake can become the rope? Therefore, there is no sambandha at all. Understanding that there is no sambandha at all, understanding that you have no connection whatsoever, understanding that you have no relationship whatsoever is called detachment. Atmana vindate viryam. The detachment is the power. What is the detachment? Detachment comes from this understanding. What is understanding? No connection between rope and snake. Meaning, snake and rope has no sambandha at all. It means you, the real self, has no sambandha whatsoever with the world. Whatsoever is happening, you have no sambandha, connection. Vidyaya vindate amritam. Illana, go back to. What do you have to go back to? Atmana vindate viryam. Gain the viryam and come back. Next mantra.
Vikachetavedi tatha satyamasti na cheti havedi mahati vinashtihi bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhira tetyasman lokadamrita bhavanti. Vikachetavedi tatha satyamasti na cheti havedi mahati vinashtihi bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhira tetyasman lokadamrita bhavanti.
If that is known here, then is truth established. If not known here, it is the greatest loss. Having reflected through every element, the wise risen from this world become immortal. If that is known here, then truth is established. Ata satyam asti. Satyam is there. Then only it is satyam asti. If not known here, mahati vinashti. It is the greatest loss. Having reflected through every element, the wise risen from this world become immortal. Now he has come one step below. First he said, awareing consciousness in every experience. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Now he has come one step below. How he has come one step below? Greatest loss. Why it is the greatest loss? Viveka Chudamani, one of the introductory textbooks, Vedanta, Mantra 3. Shankara takes this Mahati Vinashti and elaborates in Viveka Chudamani, Mantra 3. Durlabam Trayamevatat, he says. Durlabam, very difficult is to get these three. Very difficult is to get these three. Durlabam Trayamevatat. What is the first? Manushyatvam. Manushyatvam. Just to be a human being itself is a rare opportunity. We have so much of Sanchita, and that Sanchita requires so many embodiments. So much of Sanchita karma is left in all human beings, in all the beings that are there. So many Sanchita karmas are left, and all the Sanchita karma requires a corresponding Sharira for it to happen. According to Shastra, they say 84 lakh species. 84 lakh species. Some number they are giving. It means, what is the probability of becoming the Manushya? I don't know. 1 divided by 84 lakhs. 84 lakhs, how do you say that in millions? 8 million. 8.4 million. Billion, okay. Billion, billion? M, okay. Benny, for you only I am asking all this. 8.4 million. What is the probability of 1 divided by 8 point fraction you put? Manushyatvam. Durlabam trayametat. The first is that to be born as a human being. Of the 84 lakh, we all can be any one of that. We could have been the table here, we could have been the rock here, we could have been the chair here, we could have been the marble here imported from somewhere, saw the mosquito flying here or the cockroach hiding somewhere. We could have been any of that. To make you do the sadhana, how much he is struggling. How much he is struggling to make us do the tapas. And how much ever he struggles, we know how to wriggle ourselves out, isn't it? Yeah, we are knowledge shock proof. Shock proof, Mari, we are knowledge proof. We will hear, and still go back and do exactly the same thing. 84 lakh species. Of that, human being is 1 in 84 lakhs. See, people say, no, sir, for 100 jobs, 50,000 people are writing exams. Uyyo, what a number. Adhikku compare parna, what is that thing? 1 in 84. After many janmas, many human janmas also. Inga vandu kanaka mudichomma. Having come here, do we settle the thing and go back? That also we don't do. We keep doing something where it necessitates many more human janmas. All those janmas is not utilized properly. How does the Guru know that we are not utilized it properly? That's useful. Paramacharya used to say that. Kanchi Paramacharya used to say, Kotta Pak Madri Ukandirukku, it will say. I don't know how to say that in English. Kotta Pak is what? You know that it just sits. See, you put it in mouth and chew and chew and chew. For months together you can chew. It will not diminish at all. Yeah, adam Kotta Pak. Appudu ukandirukkom, he will say. The very fact that I am still sitting here is the proof of we have become. Yeah, Tagara Dabba, he said. 2-3 things that he said, I have it so deeply in my another thing. Kottapak Madri. Putsi vecha Kodakatta Madri Desh, isn't it? Put Ukati vecha, it doesn't move at all. Nothing can shake. Kutastha. Yeah, Kutastha we are. Nothing shaking. So successfully having pursued everything, we are still sitting here, not having done tapas at all. Somehow we got this human. Durlabam trayametat. The first Durlabha is Manushyatvam. Second Durlabha is Mumukshatvam. Second thing is Mumukshatvam, wanting this liberation. Third Durlabham, Mahapurushasya Samshrayam, he says. Association with the Guru, Shastra. In all household there is the Shastra, there is a scripture. Is there any house in this planet without a scripture? It doesn't matter, some scripture. Correct? Not necessarily Kenopanishad, not necessarily Bhagavad Gita, not necessarily Sanskrit literature. In every household, in all parts of the world, there will be some scripture. Maybe a Bible, maybe a Quran, maybe I don't know what all scriptures are there. Maybe some scripture. It's there in the library. I am seeing it, but not even wanting to open it, touch it. அது வந்து ராஜ்சங்கர் புக் வாங்குற மாதிரி அது. He will buy the book and will not even open the seal. Raj, stopped all that, no? Rekha is not here, no? That's why I am not asked her. He will buy books wrapped. Not even. One day I went to his house. How many cupboards we saw? 5, 6 full thing. I said, remove all the books. He stopped buying books now. He was saying, sir, I am feeling very, ganja or what it is? Addiction now. To buy? Oh, I am feeling so correct, no? You said that, no, Raj, na poi solrana. Mahapurush, it is there, but still you don't have access to it. Correct, huh? Having gotten this Manushya Janma, Mokshatva Vandarugunam. Having gotten this Manushya Janma, having gotten access to the Shastra, having had access to the Guru, அவர்கிட்ட வந்து how to handle business problem, na? How to handle my family problem, na? Ramana says, you will come to a wise man and you will not know what to ask him, he says. You will come to a wise man, but you will not know what to ask him. You will ask him all the irrelevant things. Mahati Vinashti. The Mahati Vinashti, you will explanation kuduthaada. What is that? Mahati Vinashti. Mahati Vinashti it is. Human birth is rare. Desire for moksha is rarer. Desire and opportunity for Vedanta Vichara is the rarest possible thing. Having gotten that, you are missing it. Mahati Vinashti. Are you able to follow? Manushya Janma is rare. Desire to the many want moksha. Not many, everybody want moksha. All human beings want moksha. You know that, no? Because all human beings want freedom. Yes or no? That's all. All human beings want freedom. In that case, all human beings want moksha. Who does it? Which human being will get up and say, I like to be chained more and more? Which human being will get up and say, I want to suffer more and more? Which human being will say, I am happy all the time, I am so bored of being happy, for one day I will be agitated? Which human being will say that? Therefore, all human beings are seekers of moksha, freedom. But Vedas vana. Moksha I want, Vedas I don't want. Without the Vedas, give me a method for moksha. Breathe in, breathe out. You can get moksha. Vedas lavana. Breathe in, breathe out. You can get moksha. Stand on your head. When you can stand on your legs, you will get moksha. All these is seen as direct means to moksha. Pakasya vaknivajnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Don't misunderstand, the preparatory practices itself is the direct means for moksha. Mahati Vinashti. What is that Mahati Vinashti? You want freedom, but you don't know where that freedom, through what you can get that freedom, you don't know. Are you okay till now? If you don't know, now you can sympathize. If you don't know, okay, you can sympathize with the way, didn't know, sir, it's okay. You come under the rarest category. The Guru is addressing now who's the Guru addressing? Mahadi Vinashti. That Guru Sishya Vacha Mantra 2, enlightenment is over. The Upanishad is over. Now he is addressing the rest, the leftovers. He is addressing the leftovers. When will you get another opportunity like this? Do you even realize this? Can you even realize when will you get another opportunity like this? It means what? 84 lakhs? 84 lakh shariras you have to get in and get out, and in each and every sharira, how many times you will get in and get out each and every sharira also? You don't know. And then come into Manushya Sharira, you will get this. Very rare chance. And if you miss it, Mahati Vinashti. Mahati Vinashti. Arjuna asked in the Bhagavad Gita, suddenly if I die, what will happen? Okay, I'm listening to all this. I'm agreeing to your numbers. 1 divided by 84 lakhs. I agree to this. I agree to this. I agree to this. Suddenly, if I die halfway, will you guarantee that you will be there with me all the time till I gain moksha? Yaarthu by guarantee kekkirathu? Isn't it? Suddenly, if I die, what will happen? Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. What are you asking, Arjuna? Durgati will never come to you the moment you have started this journey. Two gati, Sadgati and Durgati. Sadgati means the gati, the path, the road that takes you towards the Sat. Durgati means the path, the road that takes you towards, it takes you downward. Yeah. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, adho gachanti tamasaha. Chapter 14. He says, Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, adho gachanti, adhogadindra. Adhogadi. Adhogadi sollave kudadu, we say, isn't it? Because that's the most downward path. If you miss this opportunity, what are you missing this opportunity for? It means something else you are attracted to. That's why you are missing this. Are you able to follow? Why are you missing this opportunity? You are missing this opportunity because something else seems to be more attractive. Knowledge of priorities illa avladha. You don't have the knowledge of what you should prioritize, what you should not prioritize. It's ignorance. You follow? What you should prioritize, what you should not prioritize. And you come to Vedanta Vichara, and what are they saying? What are they saying? Remember mantra 213. You come to Vedanta Vichara, what will they tell you? Remember part 2, mantra 213. You hear that, you will not want to. Why will you even want to pursue that? Bhuteshu vichitya dhiraha. The wise one. Bhuteshu vichitya. Bhuteshu vichitya is the repetition of pratibodha viditam. It's a repetition of the same thing. Bhuteshu vichitya is the repetition of what he called as pratibodha viditam. Having identified. How do you identify? Through viveka. Through knowledge you identify. It is not that God is not available for us. It is not God is not present for us. God is available for us. God is present for us all the time. Now you are not available. People say, what to do to bring God, sir? First you make yourself available. You don't have to make God available because God is available. God is available now. You have to make yourself available. If you choose not to make yourself available, Mahati Vinashti. Mahati Vinashti. Why it is Mahati Vinashti? You forgot to go into the green room at all and got stuck on the stage. Remember that example? Actor on the stage. The actor has to keep going to the green room. Every now and then, the actor must go to the green room. By going to the green room every now and then, the actor will remember the original nature, come back and play the role. Now, the actor is refusing to go back to the green room and got stuck on the stage, taking that to be real. You got so identified with the unreal, you started becoming you are that. We have seen this any number of times. The English word personality comes from the Greek word persona, wearer of mask. Correct, ma'am? Is my derivation correct? Persona comes from the Greek word. Persona means wearer of mask. Personality means wearer of mask. You wear so many masks, and if you forget your real face, what to do? Others, if others don't know your real face, it is understandable. But you wear a mask and you forget your real face. Mahati Vinashti. Bhuteshu vichitya dhiraha pretyasma loka amrita bhavanti. You can get distracted by the movie and forget the white screen behind. Or you can understand all that is happening on the screen is not happening at all. All that is happening on the screen is not happening at all. Because actually it's not happening, no? Actually it's not happening. But the mixture of light, sound, color makes you to believe as though something is happening. That is why the first thing they do before the movie starts is what? Turn off the lights. First, make you sit in darkness. Only in darkness they can. Here we say put on, or as much as possible put on the lights. Don't go back into that darkness. Put the lights on and sit. The object is seen, but you forget that there is the light also you are seeing. The hand. It's not just the hand you see. The hand plus light. The hand is gone. Light is not gone. How do you know that? If the light is gone, does the hand bring the light? Is the hand bringing the light? The hand is not bringing the light. The light is there. Bhuteshu vichitya dhira pretyasma loka amrita bhavanti. What is the sadhana here? Remember and understand the value of the opportunity that you got. Understand the value of the opportunity that you got and don't miss it. It's like you telling the child, you got an opportunity, don't miss it, don't miss it, don't miss it. And the child goes on missing it. Exactly the same thing. Having reflected through every element. Having reflected through every element here means what? Every element means everything is consciousness plus the variable and the invariable. The variable and the invariable. The variable and the invariable. You are all the time seeing that the wave risen from this world become the wise, become immortal. Who is the wise one? Who understands the value of the opportunity becomes immortal. Part 2 is over now. This is also too much now. I don't know what is easy for us. This is also too much now. Oh, if this is also too much, don't worry. We'll have a storytelling session. We'll have a story session now. Part 3 and part 4. Beautiful story. Same part 1, part 2 is represented as story in part 3 and part 4. It's a repetition only. Part 3 and part 4. Which we will do after the break. We meet at 11:30. We meet at 11:30. We'll continue. There what I will do is, first I will repeat the story. First we will tell the story and quickly read through the mantras. We will not go through mantra by mantra. We will read the story and then see the mantras, and then end of part 3 there is a very message. So we will study that. And then we will go to part 4 where Uma comes and teaches the same thing. So for all practical purposes, we have a Kenopanishadic Guru, we know. Who's the Upanishadic Guru? Who's the Kenopanishadic Guru? Haimavatim. Uma is the Guru. Uma is the Guru of Kenopanishad. And how is she? Oh God. The Upanishad describes her also. The Upanishad describes the beauty of Haimavatim. And Indra goes all that story, and then the storytelling is over. The student will ask meaning of the story. Because after giving the story, what we should ask? Moral of the story. Correct. Who said? Who said? Wise man. Adhikda. Shailesh. Correct. I got a shock. I thought you said. I was getting shocked now. Oh, wise man said. இங்கே எல்லாருக்கும் பேர் வச்சிருக்கிறாங்க அவங்களே இல்லையா. வெங்கட்டுக்கு வந்து கேப்டன், என்ன அவர் வந்து வைஸ் மேன். ரஞ்சினிக்கு என்ன கியூ ஸ்கொயரா? கியூ ஸ்கொயர். அது கியூ ஸ்கொயர்னா என்னென்ன? ஐ டோன்ட் நோ கியூ ஸ்கொயர். வாட் இஸ் கியூ ஸ்கொயர் மீன்ஸ்? ஐ டோன்ட் நோ. Anyway, we meet at 11:30 for the story.